Hello everyone. Good evening, darlings and deviants. My name is Lucy and I'm just a little loony. Today we're going to be doing the last box opening of this year, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's anything else this year. I think this is the last set that's coming out, and it's Magic the Gathering Foundations, and it's going to be the last in the series of Frogmander for this year. That means we're going to be building the final decks that we have for this. I have the other stuff that we have, the decks that we've built before. I have all the cards behind me that we've opened before, and we're going to see what fits and what doesn't. But today, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to open the box. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to post that on... I'm going to post this box opening on YouTube. Ideally either today or tomorrow. Then another video in the week within the week of that, talking about what this challenge was, talking about how Frogmander worked, what worked, what didn't, what I might change for next year, and a little surprise that you may want to stick in store for. So be on the lookout for those videos. But there is no use wasting anyone's time here. Let's move right over to my... Oh, black screen? Hello? Why is the screen black? Oh no, we're in the void. Get us out of the void. Bring me back from the void. No, what's happening? Living on it. There we go. Okay, we have magic cards. Okay, there's that. Okay, so let's get right on into opening the Foundations box. Let us... Knife. Open sesame. So, most of the time, what I'll talk about is cards that we want. Which there's plenty that we want from here. There's a lot of cool cards in this set. But one of the ones that we don't want to get is Liliana Dreadhorde General. As much as I love Liliana, and she's great, she's an amazing card, we already have one for the purpose of this challenge. So we really don't want another Liliana, unfortunately. All right. We have Learn to Play Magic and all the little archetypes here. This is the weird one that I thought of on this one. Most of the archetypes they have here are like, normal ones that we know. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. People spin to end frame. Love her. But all of these are like different archetypes. It's like flying, spells, graveyards, morbid. But the one for black and red is Raid, which isn't that much different than aggro. Whatever. It's probably just because they want like new players to like know the difference between these two. Basically want you to be able to think of like, oh, casting spells after you attack. And such like that. Have that off to the side there. Let us get it started with Foundations. Now, I think these are not the pre-release kit ones, so I think what we need to do is actually... When we open it, we need to move them to the back like you do Pokemon cards. Or not. These are the ones that you just open up and they're there. Alright, fantastic. First one we got is a Vampire Soul Collar. It's 5 and a black for a 3/2 with flying. This creature can't block. When it enters, you return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Fine limited card, but like, it's fine. Nothing we're looking for right now. Bushwhack this might be a good one. 1 green, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. It's not a ramp spell, but it makes sure that you hit your land drops. And if you've already hit all your land drops, you can also target creature you control, fights target creature you don't control. Not bad. Light Shell Duo. This is a reprint from Richboro. We've seen it before. 3 and a blue for a 3/4 with prowess. When this creature enters, you surveil 2. Not bad, but like again, not what we're really looking for. Inspiring Paladin. 2 and a white for a 3/3 human knight. During your turn, it has first strike. During your turn, creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have first strike. This one is stealth playable for Commander because of the second thing. The creatures you control have first strike during your turn. It might be pretty good. I need to see what we have going on, but I think that might be playable. Courageous Goblins, 1 red for a 2/2 Goblin. When it attacks while you control creature's power 4 or greater, it gets +1/+1 and has Menace until end of turn. It's fine. It's a good limited curve filler. Icewind Elemental, 4 and a blue for a 3/4 Elemental with flying. When it enters, draw a card, then discard a card. Again, fine limited card. Armosaur Guide, 4 and a white for a 4/4 with Vigilance. It's a dinosaur. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Good for tokeny decks, but again, it's a little more expensive than what we're looking for here. Ooh, Rogue's Passage. Land, taps out a colorless. 4 tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Not bad, honestly. I think we might be able to play it. Let's put that off to the side. Eager Truffle Snout, 2 and a green for a 4/2 with Trample. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, create a food token. Maybe Balin's back. Maybe we bring Balin back. Given Dragon! Oh no, he got demoted to uncommon. No, he's not a rare anymore. 4 red for a 5/5 dragon with fire breathing. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn for a red mana. Very solid. I might play it just for nostalgia reasons. Well, not my nostalgia, but I do like me a Shivan Dragon. Diregraph Ghoul, 1 mana 2/2, enters tapped for a zombie. Very aggressive card, but it's more for constructed and draft purposes. I don't think we're gonna it doesn't really do that much in Commander unless you have other stuff that works with zombies, which we don't yet. Ooh, our first rare is a mythic, Ajani, Collar of the Pride. 1 white for a legendary planeswalker Ajani. +1, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. -3, target creature gains flying and double strike until end of turn. -8, create X 2/2 white cat creature tokens where X is your life total. Not bad at all for a first rare. Let's put that in off to the side. Let's put it just like with our... We'll put rares off to the side. We have a Helpful Hunter. Look how adorable it is. When this creature enters, draw a card. This one might just be playable on the purpose of it just filters and draws cards. I don't know if we have white decks that want to do that, but we can take a look. We got a mountain and an art card. Ooh. And a pretty foil mountain. I don't know if the foil shows up that well on camera, but... Alright, not bad for a first pack. First pack Mythic. That means the box is going to be cracked, right? Alright. Next to Paku. We have Bake into a Pie. 2 black for an instant. Destroy target creature, create a food token. If this was in white or green, we might consider it more. But considering it is black, we can't really play it in Balin, and I think we have other better removal spells in other colors. Speaking of, I think we've already opened Broken Wings before. I think it was in Ravnica Remastered. Broken Wings is 2 and a green for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. It might be fine, actually. I don't think we... Maybe. Strix Lookout is 1 and a blue for a 1/2 with flying and vigilance. You can pay 1 and a blue to tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Wise, watchful, fashionable. Is that a worm in its mouth? No, it's got cool little goggles. Little goggle bird. Vanguard Seraph is 3 and a white for a 3/3 with flying. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, you surveil 1. It's fine. Goblin Borders, 2 and a red for a 3/2 with Raid. Enters with a +1/+1 counter if you attack this turn. Again, these are very solid limited cards. Again, we're looking for something spicier in Commander. The reason I'm going through the commons and uncommons is we do have to kind of look for, like, those more efficient removal spells. Sometimes there's ramp options. Swiftfoot Boots is in this format, and I don't think we have a copy of it from other stuff. Fanatical Firebrand, 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Pirate with haste. Taps to add target sacrifices creature to deal 1 damage to any target. An Evolving Wilds. We've had one of these, but it's nice to have, you know, it's just nice. Ooh, Exsanguinate. That's what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about. X black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equals the life lost this way. Very solid card. We're probably gonna play it if we play a black deck because just like being able to have a bunch of mana, tap out, and just deal a lot of damage and gain a lot of life. Very good. Even if we're not killing people with it. Speaking of other really good cards, Tatiova Benthic Druid is 3 green-blue for a 3/3 Merfolk Druid. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life and draw a card. We already have that Helga deck that really likes doing this sort of thing. And I think we might want to take a look at it. Let's put that off to the side. Reclamation Sage, also very good. I don't think we've had access to. 2 and a green for an Elf Shaman, 2/1. When this creature enters, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Just a very solid effect. Good Fortune Unicorn, 1 green white. Whenever another creature you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. I think we could play some sort of like green white something counters. Because we do have Helga, and we have a couple of other effects that like having counters. So who knows? Gotta take a look at this. The first multicolored card, we'll put that. Ah! 1,000-Year Storm is 4 blue-red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before at this turn. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. It's just fantastic. I love this card so much. I don't know if we can play it. We don't really have a lot of stuff to make it work, unfortunately. We have Stitch Through Time, and we have a lot of really cool blue-red spells. And we have a lot of lands to make it work, but like, I don't know. We need a commander. There is Niv Mizzet in this set, and I think he might be good enough, but I'm not sure. We got a foil Witness Protection. 1 blue mana for an enchantment creature. The enchanted creature loses all abilities and is green and white citizen creature with base power and toughness 1/1 named Legitimate Business Person. They are not a legitimate business person, is the joke. We've got a Thornwood Falls as our land, so I don't think we'll be playing these. We did open a decent amount of the solid like tap lands. We have deserts, we have stuff like that. I don't think we really want to use these, but they're fine. They're good. We have a Scion of the Deep. Maybe this means we'll open up a Kiora. We will see. Put that in the colorless pile. All right. Let's toss that off to the side. Okay. We've got Fake Your Own Death, 1 and black for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies. Return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and you create a treasure token. Very good card. I don't know if we want it too much, but maybe. I don't know. I don't think we have that much that we want to protect. Well, also, this was in Thunder Junction. I think we've already got copies of this. Fight down 1 in a green. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. A fine fight spell. 1 blue for Fleeting Distraction. Instant. Target creature gets -1/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Good old-fashioned cantrip. Make your move is something we've already seen. We had it in Murders at Karlov Manor. 2 and a white for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. It's fine. It's an okay removal spell. Crackling Cyclops is 2 and red for a 0/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Solid. Marauding Blight Priest, 2 and a black for a 3/2. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay. There's a life gain theme in this deck, in this like strategy. If we get enough, I think we can revisit Karlov again. I know I said it. Almost every other set I've been like, okay, we can go back to Karlov. We can start building Karlov stuff, but I mean, it's possible. We have an Aegis Turtle, 0/5. It's a solid draft card. I don't think we'll be playing it though. Seismic Rupture, 2 and a red for a sorcery, deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. It's fine. It's okay. Cephalid Ink Mage, 2 and a blue for a 2/2. Whenever this creature enters, surveil 3. And if you have Threshold, it can't be blocked. Ooh. We can definitely make use of that somehow. A Braid, good old-fashioned Abrade. I don't think we've seen it this year, so 1 and a red. Deal 3 damage to target creature or destroy an artifact. All at instant speed in red. Very solid card. Oh. Another Authority of the Councils, 1 white for an enchantment. Creatures you control creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, and whenever an opponent controls enters, you gain 1 life. I mean, this is a good card. We might look at Karlov again. I don't know. It's looking really good. And we got another rare. Okay. We have Omniscience. Okay. That's cool. 7 blue for an enchantment. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. This card is very good. I don't know if we have a deck for it, though. We do have a couple blue-green strategies that we can lean into. Maybe at the end of the year, we just kind of, like, go back to, like, our first couple decks where we were, like, just 2 colors. Maybe. Omniscience is very solid, though. Big Fin Bouncer, 3 blue for a 3/2. Whenever it enters, you return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Man of War got an extra point of power, but it got a little bulkier, so it's got another mana. Got a Rugged Highlands and an Elf Warrior token. Now, there is an Elf deck in Foundations. I don't know if we have enough from this year to make elves work. Like, they were only all... I think there might be some in Ravnica. Maybe. We'll need to take a look. Another Marauding Blight Priest. Ambush Wolf. 2 green for a 4/2 with Flash. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Think twice. 1 blue. Instant. Draw a card. Flashback. 2 and a blue. Also draws a card because you're flashing it back. Cathar Commando. 1 and a white for a 3/1 with Flash. Pay 1, sacrifice this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very solid. I don't know how much we want this sort of effect, though. I do like it, though. Burst Lightning is a good card. Will be for, like, constructed play. Not so much for commander play. Burst Lightning is 1 red for an instant. It's a shock unless you kick it, which is paying an extra 4 mana. Then it deals 4 damage instead. Which is like, why would I want to pay 5 mana for 4 damage? Well, if you're not doing anything else in a burn deck, 4 damage is 100% more damage than 2 damage. Solid card. Flaming Barriers, 2 generic for a 0/4 artifact creature wall. With Defender, when this creature dies, create a treasure token. Okay. It's fine. Not great. Fine. We'll put the colors cards over here. Witness Protection, we got another one of those. Youthful Valkyrie, 1 and a white for a 1/3 with flying. Whenever another angel you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So, we do have a strat with this. We do have a Divine Visitation. I don't know how good that's going to work, though. We would need a lot more angels. Bulk Up is 1 red. Double target creature's power until end of turn at instant speed. And flashback for 4 red. I think this card might be very solid in, like, those kind of Gruul prowessy decks. Again, in Standard. I don't think we're doing much with it here. Heroic Reinforcements. We already have one of these from the Fallout sets, but it's 2 and a red white for a... You make 2 white... 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Till end of turn, all your creatures get +1/+1 and have haste. A Johnny's Pride Mate. 1 and a white. 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. That's like... We want to do that. We want to be doing that in the Karlov deck. Oh, it might be real. Karlov might be real. And a Rune-Scarred Demon. 5 black for a 6/6 with flying. Demon, obviously. When it enters, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Just being able to just tutor a card is very solid. Also, this is funny, but you can now, in Standard, Demonic Council for this card, which will then tutor up anything you want. If you don't have Delirium. Very good card. Skin Veil is a solid card, but we already had one from Thunder Junction. Skin Veil is 1 green, instant, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Ooh, a Zambone Island. So cute. I like this one so much. Little Zambone there, just chilling. And art card. Let's open up more packs. Oh, one thing about this set that I really like, we have an Infestation Mage, which I'll go into in a bit. No, the packs! They're invading! They're getting their revenge. Let's see. All of the tokens in this set are multi-sided. We got Elf Warriors and we got Raccoons. I think they should just do this forever now. Like, every token should be double-sided. Because, like, we have this problem where, like, art cards take up a slot and we don't have enough tokens. But if they were all double-sided, we would have time for, you know, we have all the tokens that we'd ever need. I think so, anyway. Anyway, Infestation Sage is 1 black for a 1/1. Whenever it dies, you create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token with flying. It's also an elf warlock. It's fine. You really want like sack outlets and stuff to go with it, but I don't think we have any right now. Grow from the Ashes is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. If the spell is kicked, you instead look up, you get 2 of them and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So 3 mana for 1 land and 5 mana for 2 lands is both overcosted in all aspects. But typically what you want this one to do is you ramp it on 3, and then you have the option later on, if you draw it later, to get more lands out of your deck. I think personally we're just gonna not play it. We have other things if we want to do that sort of thing. Galarian Terror is 6 and a blue, but you're never paying the full 7. For a 5/5, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard and has Ward 2. If we do find a deck for the 1000-Year Storm, we definitely want to be playing this Galarian Terror. Also, I put this in the wrong place. Squad Rallier is 3 and a white for a 3/4 human scout. 2 and a white. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them. Put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Very good for limited. We want bigger stuff in our colors for this. Considering Blast is 5 mana for a sorcery. Deals 6 damage to target creature. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. It's fine. We're not playing it because it's a million mana. Stab! It's stab because it's the -2/-2 of the stab wound. But this is just getting stabbed. Elegant's final mistake was assuming an intruder would come through the door and not up the sheer, smooth 6-story wall. A fair assumption, however. Get stabbed, idiot. Pilfer is a card we've seen before. When in a black, target opponent... Oh, no, actually this is from Dominaria United. When in a black, target opponent reveals their hand, you may choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. We're not playing this. It's a discard card. Commander, those are worse. Heraldic Banner, though, is not as bad. 3 generic mana. When it enters, you choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0, and tap to add 1 mana of the chosen color. 3 mana Mana Rock is a bit meh, but like 3 mana Mana Rock that does other things, meh. Foundations. Correct, puppy girl Ellie. Foundations. I don't know if the chat box is appearing. Let me make sure it's appearing. It should. It's right there. Yeah. Okay. Spectral Sailor. 1 blue, one of my favorite cards because it is a Spirits card in Blue-White Spirits, my favorite Pioneer deck. Spectral Sailor is 1 blue for a 1/1 with Flash, Spirit Pirate, and Flying. 3 blue, draw a card. We might actually play this because having this activated ability is actually really good. But, I don't know. We might have better stuff to do. Guarded Air is 5 and a white for a 1/1 human noble with lifelink. When it enters, you create 2 3/3 white knight creature tokens. I don't think we have any blink commanders in our pool, but this one's very solid. Like, if you have a blink deck, being able to make 2 3/3s on a body is very good. Mild-Mannered Librarian, 1 green for a 1/1 human. 3 and a green, this creature becomes a werewolf. And you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and you draw a card, but only once. You only do that one time. Ooh, speaking of new potential commanders, Alesha who laughs at fate. 1 black-red for a 2/2 human warrior with first strike. Whenever she attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of your instep, if you attacked this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alesha's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very good card. I don't know if we can support it, though. Not in, like, what we've got going on here. But I do love Alesha a lot. Elfsworn Giant is 3 green for a 5/3 with reach. It's a giant. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1 green elf creature... Green elf warrior token. This might be enough to bring... to put Balin back. Balin, we had, like, just... too little, we didn't have quite enough token producers. But there's a lot of them in this set, so maybe we get a rabbit token, and a soldier token, and a swamp. That is one card that I forgot that we do want to be looking out for, is Heir Apparent. There is a really funny deck where we play Ezio, and then we play all of the cards that we opened this year that you can have any number of them in your deck. It's bad completely. It's really doo-doo bad, but like, it's funny. Macabre Watts, 1 black for a sorcery. Return it to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, then discard a card. Cackling Prowler, 3 and a green for a 4/3 Hyena Rogue with Ward 2. Morbid, at the beginning of your instep, if a creature died this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Runaway Together, 1 blue. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Belladar Savior, 3 and a white for a 2/3 Cat Beast with lifelink. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Thrill of Possibility, the incorrect art. It's fine. I understand you probably can't reprint the circus art from Jumpstart 2022, but I like it more, so print it more, wizards, please. Thrill of Possibility is 1 red for a instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you discard a card, then you draw 2 cards. It's fine. Again, I'm kind of going through these pretty quickly because we are looking at this from the perspective of Commander. A lot of these cards are kind of like... A lot of them are meant to be played in limited. Like, Campus Guide, 2 generic mana for a 2/1 artifact creature golem. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle it and put that card on top. It's okay in limited. Sometimes it's playable. Sometimes you need your splash to work out better for you. That's when you play the Campus Guide. But by itself, it's not amazing or anything. We got an Heir Apparent. 1 white for a 2/2. When this creature enters, create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to the number of other creatures you control named Heir Apparent. Attack can have any number of cards named Heir Apparent. If we get a few of these, I think we could play a kind of blink deck that plays these and tries to like get them back. But just 1 is not enough. We need probably like 6 or 7 of them, I would say. Skyship Buccaneer is 3 blue for a 4/3 with flying and raid. When this creature enters, if you attack this turn, draw a card. Very good card. Meteor Golem. 7 mana for a 3/3 Golem. When this creature enters, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Just kill it. Slumbering Cerberus is 1 red for a 4/2. Does not untap during your untap step, but at the beginning of each instep, if a creature died this turn, you untap this creature. It's pretty solid, but it's more of a limited card. We have a full art Reclamation Sage. Ooh. But we already had a Reclamation Sage, but nice to have multiples of it. Giada, Font of Hope. 1 white for a 2/2 legendary creature, Angel. Flying, Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each angel you already control. Tap to add a white mana, but only to play angels. I wish we had more angels. I don't think we do. So Giada, unfortunately, isn't going to be that great. But speaking of good cards, Alinda, Saint of Dusk. 2 white black for a 4/4 Vampire Knight with lifelink and hexproof from instants. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, she gets +1/+1 and has menace. She gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your life total is at least 10 greater than your starting life total. I really like this one because it kind of avoids the Sarah Ascendant problem, where you just play a 1 mana white card in Commander and it's like a 6/6. And also this kind of makes it usable in both constructed in like standard and such, and in Commander, where it doesn't really matter, you just have to have more than 10 life. Very good card. Another Rugged Highlands, and a fancy art card. Got 2 lost in the sauce opening the pack. We've got a Beastkin Ranger, 2 green for a 3/3 with 2/3 Elf Ranger with Trample. Whenever another creature control enters, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Solid. Mocking Sprite, 2 and a blue for a 2/1 Fairy Rogue. Instants and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Okay, if we do have a blue-red deck, we are getting more pieces, and I'm very excited. I want to do that because blue-red is like... Blue-red Spellslinger is like one of my favorite decks to play. Another helpful hunter, 1 white. Cat, draws a card. Fine. Goblin surprise! What's the surprise? It's goblins. And hey, your door's broken. 2 red for an instant. Creature you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Or make 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Balin might be back on the menu again? Maybe. Let's see. Eaten alive, 1 black sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, or pay 1,000,000 more mana. Then you exile target creature or planeswalker. I think this one is fine, but I think we have better options from like Bond Horizons 3 and Duskmourn. Exiling those is pretty important sometimes. Wary Thespian, 1 and a green for a 3/1 cat druid. Whenever this creature enters or dies, surveil 1. You still see that the acrobats are making the Phyrexian symbol in the background, but the flavor text has been changed because Giorgio paced the stage anxiously. This was their final rehearsal, but there were still so many mistakes. You know, as in they're still making Phyrexian symbols. It just became a force of habit, you know? Soul Shackled Zombie, try saying that 3 times fast. 3 black for a 4/2 zombie. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. If at least 1 creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's fine. It's okay. Reassembling Skeleton, 1 black for a 1/1 skeleton warrior. 1 black for return this creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If we had a aristocracy style deck, maybe, but I don't think that's quite enough here. Heartfire Immolator, 1 black for a 2/2 with prowess. You can pay a red, sacrifice this creature, deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. Unfortunately, does not hit players, but that's probably for the best. Micromancer is 3 and a blue for a 3/3 human wizard. You may search your library for an instant or sorcery card with mana value 1. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. We do have Gamble. That's a instant or sorcery spell that costs 1. Maybe. Our first rare is Tiny Bones Bauble Burglar. 1 black for a 1/3 skeleton rogue. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Then, 3 and a black, tap, each opponent discards a card, but only as a sorcery. A good card. I don't know if we're going to play it, because that's a lot, and we're not really causing people to sacrifice stuff, but I could. Ooh, another Planeswalker. 1 blue for Kaito, Cunning Infiltrator. Legendary Planeswalker, Kaito. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Kaito. +1, up to 1 target creature you control can be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. -2, make a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. Then -9, you get an emblem with whenever a player casts a spell, you create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. Very good card. I don't know where we're going to play it. Another Reclamation Sage, but this one's foil. Ooh, shiny. And a Swiftwater Cliff, so the blue-red version of the Gainland. And a Spirit Cat. Oh no! It's the Friday Nights bit! I make 2 1/1 cat spirits, but they're not cat type. Now they are. Open the sesame. Oh, before I get into this pack, I want to take a sip of my Gamer Sups. I am thirsty. Turns out talking about magic cards causes your throat to get dry. Hungry Ghoul is 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's kind of where the sacrifice strategy comes in, but we would ideally have something for free. But the Reassembling Skeleton works really well with cards like this. So if you're drafting and you see both of these, or if you're going to pre-release tomorrow and you see both of these, they want you to play these together. Just so you know. Dwynen's Elite is 1 green for a 2/2 elf warrior. When it enters, if you control another elf, gotta control the second elf, you get a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Solid. 1 blue for 2/1 Elementalist Adept, human wizard with flash and prowess. Simple, limited card. Very good though. Luminous Rebuke is 4 white for instant. It costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Destroy target creature. It's fine. I think this was a Bloomburrow card. Looks like a Bloomburrow card. Smells like a Bloomburrow card. So, might have been one, but it's not that good for what we're trying to do here. 4-Horn Raider. 4 in a red for a 4/4. Whenever it enters, if you attack with a creature this turn, deal 2 damage to any target. It's fine. Gutless Plunderer, 2 in a black for a 2/2 skeleton pirate. Death Touch. With Raid, when this creature enters, if you attack this turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top, not into your hand, back on top, but the rest do go into the graveyard. So if you are trying to put stuff into the graveyard, it's good to have a Gutless Plunderer. Another Turtle. Mischievous Pup, 2 and a white for a 3/1 with flash. Whenever it enters, return up to one other target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Can hit lands if you need to, do land shenanigans. Arbiter of Woe. 4 black for a 5/4 demon. As additional cost to cast this spell, you gotta sacrifice a creature though. It has flying, and wherever it enters, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life, and you draw a card and gain 2 life. Another Eager Truffle Snout. Fey Bloom Trick. 2 blue for an instant. Create 2 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. When you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. So, in Standard, there is a possibility that there is a fairies deck, and it's like blue, red, black probably, if we want to try that. Or just blue, red with the blue good fairies. But we get to play with Kellen in the main board, and I love that so much. Speaking of Kellen, Kellen Planar Trailblazer. 1 red for a 2/1 human fairy scout. 1 red rather. If he is a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective and gains whenever Kellen deals combat damage to a player. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. 2 red. If Kellen is a detective, it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double strike. So the reason this Kellen is good is because it's a 1-drop fairy that's cracked. All the other 1-drop fairies that we have are fine. They're like 1/2s, maybe 2/1s, maybe 1/1s that don't really do that much. There is that sleep cursed fae that it's like a 3/3, but it's really slow and doesn't really untap, so it's not that aggressive. But in a Kellen, playing it with Kellen, we now have 8 1-drop fairies, which turns Spell Stutter, Sprite, and Spell Stutter, the one from Wilds of Eldraine, online. This might be very good. I don't know though. Courageous Foil Goblin. Ooh, pretty foil mountain. Look at Kaito, he chillin'. He chillin' in the hot tub. I just realized there's also a Krinko mob boss in here, and I think we have a non-zero amount of things that work with goblins. So if we do open a Krinko mob boss, there is a possibility we play mono red. We have a Gnarlid Colony, 1 green for a 2/2 beast with kicker, 2 and a green. If it was kicked, you get 2 counters on it, and each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. Refute. I said no. 1 blue, counter target spell, draw a card and discard a card. Cancel, you have officially been power crept. I am sorry. That's a lie, it's been power crept for a while. But it's just power crept differently. Healer's Hawk is 1 white for a 1/1 flying lifelink bird. I don't know if this came out in if this was in Ravnica Remastered, but here we have it here. First strike, 1 red for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Good magic card. Another Fake Your Own Death. Quick Draw Katana. 2 generic mana. During your turn, equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has first strike. Equip for 2 mana. It might be fine. I don't think we have that much that works with it, but... Involuntary Employment. 3 red. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. Create a treasure token. Again, Balin loves this sort of card, so maybe we go back there. Twin Blade Blessing. 1 white for an enchantment aura with flash. An enchant creature. Enchanted creature has double strike. Good card. Tragic Banshee, 4 black for a 5/3 spirit. When this creature enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Or if a creature has already died this turn, you killed something else, or you played it after combat, it gets -13 instead. Basically, kill target creature. Very solid, very good limited card. Not what we're looking for here. As opposed to what we are looking for here, Garruk's Uprising, 2 green for an enchantment. When this creature enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. Creatures you control with trample. Creatures you control just have trample, and whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. We do have that Helga deck that likes playing stuff that's big and has a lot of power, so Garruk's Uprising helps with that. We have a legendary Ruby Daring Tracker, red-green for a 1/2 with haste. Taps to add mana. Whenever it attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. I don't think it's good enough to play, but it's a solid card. Speaking of good enough to play, though, Atali Primal Storm. 4 red for an Elder Dinosaur 6/6. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. Just a solid red card that we love. Love to see it. A foil Twin Blade Blessing, so strictly better than that one. And we have a Johnny doing a big think on Theros. He doing a big think. I'm thinking about how I killed a lot of people because I was a Phyrexian for like a hot minute. Okay. Almost done with the first pile of packs. We got a Giant Growth, 1 green. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Limited card, not what we're looking for, but good card. Erudite Wizard, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 human wizard. Whenever you draw a second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Again, fine, but for limited. Dazzling Angel, we're probably playing this if we are playing Karlov. Dazzling Angel, 2 and a white for a 2/3 angel with flying. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. Karlov loves us gaining like little tiny increments of life, so having more effects like that is good. Sower of Chaos! 3 and a red for a 4/3 devil, not a demon, devil. And for 2 and a red, target creature can't block this turn. Good card. We're probably not playing it, but it's a good card. Burglar Rat, 1 black for a 1/1 rat. Whenever this creature enters, each opponent discards a card. Again, solid. We're not playing it. Prideful Parent, 2 and a white for a 2/2 cat with Vigilance. When this creature enters, you make a 1/1 white cat creature token. If we do Balin, I think we play the Prideful Parent, but otherwise, it's not that great. 3 top Snare Spinner, 3 and a green for a 1/4 spider with Reach and Death Touch. 2 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, but only as a sorcery. Not bad. Not bad. We might play it, because being able to make something instant speed, put a counter on it, seems pretty solid. I'm not sure yet. Another Rogue's Passage. Infernal Vessel, 2 and a black for a 2/1 human cleric. When this creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. It's a demon in addition to its other types. That's not bad. If we had more sacrifice stuff, that'd go really hard, but... Wildwood Scourge, X green for a Hydra, enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever more +1/+1 counters are put on another non-Hydra creature you control, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This goes hard in Helga. Helga's gotten a lot of buffs already. Seer Slicer Goblin, 1 red for a 2/1 Goblin Warrior. At the beginning of your instep, if you attack this turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token. Very solid. Good gobbo. Ah, man. Sigh. I guess I can't complain. Like, it is a full art Liliana and it looks really pretty, but like, we already had one. Come on. I even called it too. I said this whole time that I was going to open one. Liliana Dreadhorde General, 4 black for a legendary planeswalker Liliana. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice. For 6, she starts with 6 loyalty. And for -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. So they get to keep a creature, a land, an enchantment, an instant. Oh, hey, Wax Cooking. Thanks for following. Welcome to the show. Have I opened any Bolt Waves? Not yet, no, unfortunately. And I think Bolt Wave would actually be playable here. Maybe. Got a foil Sure Strike, though. Sure, got a foil Sure Strike. And a Scoured Barrens. And a Signed Loot. Ooh. A Signed Loot art card. I'm so, I'm not upset, but, I knew this was going to happen. I opened one last night, though, which is really cool. Bite Down, Fleeting Distraction, we've seen that one. We've seen Make Your Move. We saw the Cackling Cyclops, Rotting Blight Priest, a Bushwhack was the second card we opened, actually. Spitfire Lagak is 3 and a red for a 3/4 Lizard. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. If we had ways to double damage, I might think about this one, because I think we also have that Lizard that makes landfall deal damage, but I don't think we have any, legendaries that help us out there. Sanguine Siphoner is 1 black for a 1/3 Vampire Warlock. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Karlov stays winning. Brineborn Cutthroat is 1 blue for a 2/1 Merfolk Pirate with Flash. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I have tried to make this card work so many times in my life. And today is not that day. I don't think it's going to be that good. Quake Strider Ceratops is 3 green for a 12/8 dinosaur. That's all. It's a 12/8 dinosaur. Big boy. Hidetsugu's Second Right. 3 red for an instant. If target player has exactly 10 life, no more, no less, Hidetsugu's Second Right deals 10 damage to that player. Good magic card. It depends on what you're doing, if it's a good magic card or not. Right now in Standard, it's kind of bad because we have Pain Lands, and they can just, pay 1 at instant speed and make you have wasted 4 mana at a card. But it's seen play on and off. Crystal Barricade, 1 white for an artifact creature wall, 0/4 with Defender. You have Hexproof, and prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to other creatures you control. Oh, I was talking about this last night. I was like, well, Bolt Wave prevents all non-combat damage to you and other creatures you control. I guess it's just the creature bits. Did not realize that. Foil Fanatical Firebrand. Pretty shiny. A Plains and a Vivian Reed emblem. Maybe that means we'll open a Vivian. It'd be really neat to open, all of the Planeswalkers in the set. I really do want the Chandra. More so for, my personal commander deck, but also because Chandra's cool. Apothecary Stomper, 4 green for an elephant with vigilance. When this creature enters, you choose 1, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, and you gain 4 life. Or you gain 4 life. Big boy. Another big fin bouncer. Fleeting Flight is 1 white for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it this turn. Firebrand Archer, 1 red for a 2/1 human archer. When you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to 1 damage to each opponent. Good for those kind of blue-red style spell-slingy decks that we were trying to go for. Ripped Feaster, 3 black for a 3/4 zombie with Menace. Whenever this creature attacks, if there are several more cards in your graveyard, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Llanowar Elves, very solid. Very simple, 1 green for a 1/1 elf druid, taps to add a green. But it's another kind of Birds of Paradise style effect that we haven't seen this year. So we do have another 1-drop ramp spell. Icewind Elemental, we see another one of those. Strongbox Raider, 2 red for a 5/2 Orc Pirate. When it enters, if you attack this turn, you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You choose one of them, you don't get to do both. Until the end of your next turn, you can play that card. Very solid. Stormkirk Bloodthief, 2 black for a Vampire Rogue. At the beginning of your instep, if an opponent lost life this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on target vampire you control. If we had more vampires, it might be fine. But as it stands, it's kind of meh right now. An offer you can't refuse. 1 blue for an instant speed spell. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. I think you'll find my terms quite agreeable, if you know what's good for you. How do you like my mafioso voice? Offer you can't refuse is a very good counterspell, but it's also kind of risky. Because, you give them 2 treasures, they may be able to cast an even worse spell. It's all push and take. Cat Collector, 2 and a white for a 3/2 human citizen. When it enters, you make a food token. Whenever you gain life for the first time during each of your turns, you create a 1/1 white cat creature token. I mean, that seems really good. Genesis Wave! X green, green, green. Reveal the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of permanent cards with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Then put all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield into your graveyard. I love me a Genesis Wave. So cool. Our foil is a Balmor Battle Mage Captain. Blue-red bird wizard. It's a bird that is also a wizard. Has flying. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. I don't think this is the legend that makes this blue-red deck maybe work, but it's a compelling card. High card could never. We got another one of those fancy full art forests. Here is the last pack. In this pile, not the last pack, period. We got a Light Shell Duo. We got a Cathar Commando. We got another Courageous Goblin. Got a Vampire Soul Caller. Yep. Another Think Twice, another Armasaur Guide, Solving Wilds, Spectral Sailor, Diregraph Ghoul, another Shivan Dragon, another Guarded Air. We got a Soulstone Sanctuary. It's a land, taps out a colorless. For 4 generic, it becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types. It's still a land. This is a slightly better version of the blue land. No, the Faceless Haven from Kaldheim. I think this one might be... I don't know how good this one will be. I think I might try it out in Spirits as a 1 or a 2 of, because the mono blue deck really liked playing the version where it had Faceless Haven, but we had to phase it out because there weren't that many snowlands to make it work. But this is generic. It's a little bit smaller, but it also is a bit easier to get on the... I don't know. Maybe. Foil is a Cackling Prowler. We also got a foil Bloodfell Caves and some tokens. All right. Take another sip of my drink. All right. Second pile of cards. Of packs, rather. Another Llanowar Elves. Another Strix Lookout. Banishing Light, 2 and a white, enchantment. Whenever it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. It's fine. Another Goblin Borders. Another Bake into a Pie. Another Quick Draw Katana. Another Soul Shackled Zombie. Another Ajani's Pridemate. Another Slumbering Cerberus. Another Garruk's Uprising. Another Skyship Buccaneer. Archmage of the Runes. 3 blue for a 3/6 giant wizard. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast again. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Ooh. I like the words draw a card on a magic card. Another Inspiring Paladin. And a Incorrect Swamp. I like the Liliana one more, but the one with Tiny Bones is pretty good. I like it a lot. Wait, what is this card? Those are giant lemurs attacking people. Is it Preposterous Proportions? It's probably yep. It's the alt art of Preposterous Proportions. Oh, there you go. All right, moving on. We got another Bushwhack. We got another Light Shell Duo. We got another Cathar Commando. We got another Courageous Goblin. Another Soul Caller. Gold Vein Pick is 2 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, deals combat damage to a player. You make a treasure token and equips for 1. I don't think we have that many equipment commanders in the pile, but this one might be good. Definitely something to consider. Another prideful parent. We got our first Bolt Wave! Let's go! I want, like, all of these for standard. And modern. And pioneer. This card's gonna be good, I swear. Fishing Pole. We get to play a fishing minigame. Fishing Pole is 1 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has 1 in tap, tap Fishing Pole, put a bait counter on Fishing Pole. Whenever equipped creature becomes untapped, remove a bait counter from this equipment. If you do, create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. So, basically, you pay 1 mana, tap it, you put a bait counter, and your guy is tapped and he's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. Then you untap and he pulls it back and you get a fish. And then the fish attacks people for you. Okay, it is not perfect system. Mischievous Mystic is 1 blue for a 2/1 human wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Very good card. Resolute Reinforcements is 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier with flash. Whenever this creature enters, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Very good card. Lunar Insight. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Draw a card for each different mana value among non-land permanents you control. Might be good. Sunblessed Healer is 1 and a white for a 3/1 human cleric with kicker 1 and a white and lifelink. When this creature enters, if it was kicked, you return target non-land permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. There are some very good cards with the converted mana cost 2 or less. Card's very good. Like Soul Ring. That's a good one. I don't think we have that many, but it's a good one. Broken Wings again. Uncharted Voyage, 3 blue for an instant. Target creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library, and then you surveil 1. It's fine. Good card. Vanguard Seraph is 3 and a white for a 3/3 Angel Warrior. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, you surveil 1. I think we already seen that before. Axeguard Cavalry, 1 red for a 2/2 Dwarf Berserker. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Give something haste. Haste is good. Infestation Sage, we've seen that one. Beastskin Ranger. Spitfire Lagak. 3 taps Snare Spinner. Twinblade Blessing. Ruby Daring Tracker. Brineborn Cutthroat. Raise the Past. Ooh. This is going to make things interesting. 2 white, return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. At Strixhaven University, learning about the past means At Strixhaven University, learning about the past means talking to those who were there. Very good card. I don't know. I really want to put it in. I want to put it in Karloff. Another island. We got Kaito's emblem, and on the back we got his ninja, which is weird because like you have the emblem, but you want to make the ninja, so like it seems inefficient. But what do I know? All right, we got an Ambush Wolf. We got a Think Twice. We got an Inspiring Paladin. We got another Burst Lightning. We got a Macabre Waltz. The Sanguine Siphoner, Evolving Wilds, Broke of Midnight, 2 white, instant, destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Very solid card. There's a lot of removal in this Foundation set. Like, I think the limited format's going to end up being really grindy, honestly, because like there's 2 Wraths that I know of off the top of my head with the Blasphemous Edict and the Day of Judgment, and there's a lot of single target removal in all of the colors. Might be a much slower format than we've seen before. Nessian Hornbeetle, 1 green for a 2/2 insect. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another creature with power 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Counters. Inspiration from Beyond. 2 blue for a sorcery, mill 3 cards, then return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and it flashbacks for 5 blue. Again, if that blue-red deck is there, we can definitely play it. I guess it could be... We do have a Grixis commander. Wart doesn't really care about instants and sorceries, but he is Grixis. We have Vengeful Blood Witch, 1 black for a Vampire Warlock 1/1. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's a Blood Artist, but he works out. Harass's Bounty, 6 and a red for a sorcery. For each land you control, create a treasure token. That's it. But also, it's a sorcery, so we have like a lot of stuff that goes with that and reduces that cost. That's a really good card. And a foil Evolving Wilds, and a foil Scoured Barrens. But yep, Slag Storm's also there. There's a lot of board wipes in this limited format. Got another Tolarian Terror, another Squad Rallier, another Incinerating Blast, another Eaten Alive, another Grow from the Ashes, Armosaur Guide, Fanatical Firebrand, Inspiring Call. 2 and a green for an instant. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. We've had one of these already in the Fallout ones, but this is fine. Battlesong Berserkers, 3 and a red for a 3/4 human berserker. Whenever you attack, a target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains Menace until end of turn. Very good if you like attacking. Divine Resilience might end up being a really solid protection spell for Commander. 1 white for an instant. With kicker of 2 and a white, target creature you control gets indestructible until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, instead any number of target creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I know I am for sure putting this into Feather, because Feather is going to play this and make people very, very sad. Ooh, Full Art Refute. I like that. I like how that looks. And we also have a Full Art Sylvan Scavenging. 1 green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, or create a 3/3 green raccoon creature token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Balin's looking better. That's a really good card. Foil Think Twice. Very pretty plains with Giada on it. I gotta say, Foundations is not making it easier to build decks. Mostly because everything's really cool. There's so much cool stuff. Tackling Prowler, Run Away Together, Felidar Savior, Thrill of Possibility, Gutless Plunderer, Dwynen's Elite, Elfsworn Giant, Dwynen Gilt-Leaf Dane, 2 green for a 3/4 Elf Warrior with Reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. Very good card. Zombify, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Good reanimation spell. Looks like an ad break is starting in about a minute, so I am going to try to get through these very quickly. Another Ceratops, Hidsuga's Second Right, Draco's Tap, Maw of Flames, 4 red for a legendary dragon, 7/7. Whenever it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. I think I have to go through the ad break because I am going to post this bit on YouTube, unfortunately. Vampire Gourmand is 1 black for a 2/2 vampire. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card, and this creature can't be blocked this turn. Cliffwater Cliffs, and a food and treasure token. Both of them. Okay. Open sesame. We have another Mocking Sprite. Another Helpful Hunter. Another Goblin Surprise. Another Stab. Another Gnarled Colony. Another Fleeting Distraction. Another Gleaming Barrier. Another Witness Protection. Another... Oh, nope, this one's new. Fire Spitter Whelp, 2 red for a dragon. Whenever you cast a non-creature or dragon spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent for a 2/2. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a very good card. Adventuring Gear is 1 generic mana. Artifact Equipment, Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and equips for 1. Another Sunblessed Healer. Another Soulstone Sanctuary. Ooh, a foil Seer Slicer Goblin. Fancy. I am sorry, Twitch team, Twitch viewers, but I am going to keep going after getting a sippy. For the YouTube peoples. Elementalist Adapt, Luminous Rebuke, Gorehorn Raider, Hungry Ghoul, Giant Growth, Campus Guide, Pilfer, Hero's Downfall, 1 black instant destroy target creature or planeswalker. Unfortunately, it got like super power crept in Modern Horizons 3, so we can't really use much of this. Also, I think we've already opened it. Isn't it in they printed this year too, right? I think it was no, I can't remember where they printed it. I think they might have printed it last year. Maybe. Ooh, Burnished Heart. This is the first time we've seen Burnished Heart this year. 3 generic for a 2/2 artifact creature elk. 3 sacrifice 3 mana, sacrifice creatures to your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Good old-fashioned Sarah Angel. 3 white for a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. That's it. But sometimes that's all you need. Clinquent Sky Mage. 3 blue for a 1/1 bird wizard. Bird, also a wizard. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I don't know how to feel about this card. I feel like it might be very powerful, but I'm not entirely sure. We get Dabbling Season, obviously it's insane, but, you know. Scuzz. Scavenging Ooze is 1 green for a 2/2 Ooze. With a ability, green mana. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and you gain 1 life. It's a 2/2. And a foil Giant Growth. Very shiny and fancy. Foil Forest. And a art card. Almost out of cards, almost out of packs from this pile. We got another Healer's Hawk, another Sure Strike, Fake Your Own Death, Bite Down, the Refute, another Wary Thespian, second Heir Apparent. We're getting there, we're getting there. Fiendish Panda, 2 black/white for a 3/2 Bear Demon. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Thoughts on Scuzz in standard meta? I don't know. But we do already have a deck that wants to be trying to either get 6 cards in the yard for an Oculus, or put an Oculus into the yard and then reanimate it. So it might be the problem we have is like it needs to be with Scuzz. It has to go into main boards, because if we're looking in sideboards, you'd rather be playing Ghost Vacuum, which is just better in a sideboard scenario. But being able to play Scavenging Ooze in the main board, that's better for standard. But if there's not enough graveyard decks, then Scuzz doesn't have enough to feed off of, and it's just a 2 mana 2/2, which is not that good. It really depends. This card also has other text. When this creature dies, return another target non-bear creature card with mana value less than or equal to the mana to this creature's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh, that's powerful. Another Snakeskin Veil. Arcane Epiphany, 3 blue for an instant. The spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a wizard. Draw 3 cards. A 4 mana Ancestral Recall is still an Ancestral Recall. Drawing 3 cards is good. Another Tatiova. An Arabo the First Fang, 2 white for a 2/2 legendary creature cat avatar, or as I like to call them, the Fitnessgram Pacer test is other cats you control get +1/+1. And whenever Arabo or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Good. Fine. Another Erudite Wizard. Windscarred Craig. Rat and a Zombie. Yeah, Scooz is going to be pretty good in Standard if there's a lot of graveyard decks. Like, there needs to be at least a couple of them that are, like, actively trying to, like that are, like, in contention. And then, like, a kind of, like, green, not aggressive deck, but, like, kind of like the Golgari mid-range deck can start playing Scooz in the main to start, like, messing stuff up. Another Erudite Wizard, another Dazzling Angel, another Firebrand Archer, another Crypt Feaster, another Apothecary Stomper, Big Fin Bouncer, Quick Draw Katana, Aegis Turtle, Imprisoned in the Moon, 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura, enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land with tap to add a colorless and loses all other card types and abilities. Very good card. Kills commanders completely. I don't know if we can play it. Like, it is kind of a... It's 3 mana for a removal spell, and we may not have a blue deck that wants an enchantment speed removal spell. But maybe. A Braid. Braid's good. Needle Tooth Pack. 3 green for a 4/5 dinosaur. At the beginning of your end step, if the creature died this turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Maybe. If we have a +1/+1 counter deck, it could go pretty hard. Phyrexian Arena. 1 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So I'm gonna say it. I don't think this card is fantastic. You gotta pay 3 mana, and then you wait a turn, one of your opponent's turns, then you wait for another one of your opponent's turns, then you wait for another one of your opponent's turns, and then you draw a card and lose a life. As opposed to something like Night's Whisper, which is 1 and a black for you lose 2 life and you draw 2 cards, which is, like, much faster. Zombify might affect the meta. The problem is we already have, like, a lot of efficient removal reanimation spells in Standard already, so, like, I don't know if Zombify would do more, or just, like, make the decks that we have now more consistent. Anyway, Phyrexian Arena is fine. It's good if you play it on 3. I think the later you play it, the worse it gets, because games typically don't last long enough to get the value that you want from it. Fire Annihilation, we've seen that one already, I think. If we have it, it just deals 5. And to make you move, Cackling Cyclops, Soul Collar, Bushwhack, Lightshell Duo, Voluntary Employment, Rightful Parent. Ooh! Okay, we got a special guest card. This is a Chroma's Memorial. 7 mana, legendary artifact. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and from red. Very, 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 very good card. I don't know if we can play it. I don't know where we play it. But it's good. It's so good. Look at it. Pretty. We gotta see. We'll take a look at it. Fire Annihilation. Just in case I didn't go over it before, it's 2 and a red for a instant, deals 5 damage to target creature. You exile up to 1 target equipment attached to that creature, and if that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Very good removal spell, especially if they're playing an equipment spell, but fine. Secluded Courtyard. As this land enters, you choose a creature type. Tap to add a colorless, and then you tap to add 1 mana of any color, but only for the creature type that you chose for this, or activating an ability of something with the creature type that you use to activate this. Good one. Essence Scatter, 1 blue, counter target creature spell. Good-ish for limited, because it's like how blue is able to remove stuff permanently. I don't think we played in Commander. I don't know. Essence Scatter is probably fine in Commander, because you know everybody's going to be playing... On average, they're going to be playing a creature in the command zone. So you have at least one thing to counter it with. People are playing Negate, so... yeah. Your mileage may vary. Twin Flame Tyrant is a 3 red, 3/5 mythic dragon. With flying, if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. That's pretty powerful. I don't know if we're going to be able to use it to its biggest potential. Chandra Mountain! Chandra Mountain! I need like 1 million of those. Alright, we have one last pack of foundations. Not one last pack, we have one last pile of packs. So we are 2/3 of the way done. Got a Fleeting Flight, Sower of Chaos, Burglar Rat, Llanowar Elves, Sprick's Lookout, Buildbane Pick, Treetops Snare Spinner, Seismic Rupture, Aetherize, 3 and a blue for an instant. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. I like Aetherize. It's not quite a board wipe, but it is basically in some scenarios, and that's why I like it a lot. Empyrean Eagle is 1 blue-white for a 2/3 bird spirit with flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Very clear on what blue-white likes doing. Fly, 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 fly. And then, just as a little treat on the side, fly. Another Cephalid Ink Mage. Sky Knight Squire. 1 white for a Cad Scout 1/1. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. As long as this creature has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has flying and is a knight in addition to its other types. That's pretty solid. That's a very good card. Very real card too, jeez. A foil Ajani's Pridemate. Planes and an very pretty art card of... I forgot. Bloom Tinder. Yeah, Bloom Tinder's in this too. I think technically we could get a second Bloom Tinder. Like, we could get a second special guest card. We haven't gotten a second special guest card since we opened up Markov Manor. But we might. It's possible. Another Inspiring Paladin, Courageous Goblin, Marauding Blight Priest, Ambush Wolf, Think Twice, Cathar Commando, Spitfire Lagak, Joust Through, 1 white, instant, deals 3 damage target attacking or blocking creature, you gain 1 life. It's fine. We're probably not playing it. Like, even Karlov's not this desperate for this kind of effect. Vampire Nighthawk's back in Standard and in this kind of limited format. 1 black for a 2/3 Vampire Shaman with Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Just very solid. Again, we're probably going to play this in Karlov if we play it. Perforating Artist is 1 black-red for a 3/2 Devil with Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, each opponent loses 3 life, unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or of their choice, or discards a card. Good card. Happens every end step. Frenzied Goblin, 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Berserker. Whenever this creature attacks, you may pay 1 red. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. Got High Fate Trickster, 3 and a blue for a 4/2 Fairy Wizard with Flash, Flying, and you can cast spells as though they had Flash. 1 pretty woman. And I will say it over and over again. Pretty woman. But also, Flash is just... I love being able to cast things as though they had Flash, and this is basically putting Flash on a chromatic orrery. I love this a lot. Crypt Feaster, Jungle Hollow. Good. I'm not gonna lie, this box has been kind of crazy. Vanishing Light again. Goblin Borders again. Bake into a Pie again. Broken Wings again. Uncharted Voyage again. Icewind Dale again. Armorsword Guide again. Another Exsanguinate. Angel of Finality, 3 and a white for a 3/4 Angel with Flying. Whenever this enters, exile target player's graveyard. I don't really like playing cards like this for graveyard hate. If we had an Angel deck, maybe, but not. I don't like this one that much. Another Reclamation Sage, Swiftblade Vindicator, 3 and white for a 1/1 Human Soldier with Double Strike, Vigilance, and Trample. All the keywords. Ooh, and a full art Mossborn Hydra, 2 and a green for a 0/0. Enters with a +1/+1 counter on it, but whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets you another doubling of the +1/+1 counter. So it starts at 1, then it goes to 2, then it goes to 4, then it goes to 8, and then it starts killing people very dead. Ooh, Dragon Trainer, 3 red for a 1/1 human. Whenever this enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with Flying. How to Train Your Dragon. Got another island and a food. Alright, we got another Burst Lightning, another Macabre Waltz, another Cackling Prowler, Run Away Together, Filled Our Savior, Sanguine Siphoner, Gleaming Barrier, Nessian Horn Beetle, another Stroke of Midnight, another Inspiration from Beyond, another Vengeful Blood Witch, Extravagant Replication, 4 blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent you control. This card is very solid. I know I said I don't like the Phyrexian Arena a lot, but like this card's really good. Even though it's a little slow, if you just have any permanent, it just starts getting out of hand very quickly. We got a foil Mocking Sprite this time, and a foil Helen Mountain. Very pretty. We got a Vanguard Seraph, another X-Guard Cavalry, another Infestation Sage, Beastkin Ranger, Flaring Terror, Squad Rallier, Fanatical Firebrand, Elfsworn Giant, Billowing Shriek Mass. Ugh. Those are words. 3 and a black for a 2/3 Spirit with Flying. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards. This creature gets +2/+1 as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. It's fine. I don't think we're playing it in Commander. It's a little bit too do nothing. Claws Out is 3 white for an instant. Possible nest to cast for each cat you control. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. If we had more cats, maybe. But I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's even that playable in Standard. Grappling Kraken, 4 blue for a 5/6 Kraken with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. This, in combination with that like enchantment from Duskmourn, back in like it's in the Commander set, the one that makes stun counters never go away, sounds like it would be a big pain. Speaking of a big pain, Painful Quandary, 3 black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. We could play that, and that's very, very gross. It sucks to have to deal with that. Gutless Plunderer, Bloodfell Caves, and the land card. More packs. We're opening up more packs. Field of Possibility, Hungry Ghoul, To My Hands Elite, Elemental Adept, Luminous Rebuke, Pilferer, Witness Protection, Arbiter of Woe, Mischievous Pup, Good Fortune Unicorn, Exemplar of Light, 2 white for a 3/3 Angel. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn, but it is once each turn. So not during just your turn, but your opponent's turns as well. We also got a Sphinx of Forgotten Lore. 2 blue for a Mythic Sphinx with Flash and Flying. Whenever this creature attacks, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost. Very good card. And a foil Brass's Bounty. That's amazing. Love that a lot. More packs. We're opening up more packs. Incinerating Blast, Eaten Alive, Grow from the Ashes, then a Mocking Sprite, Helpful Hunter, another Heir Apparent. We've got 3 now. Campus Guide, Sunblessed Healer, Adventure Ring Gear, Fire Spitter Whelp, Fiendish Panda, Scrawling Crawler. It's 3 generic mana for a 3/2 Phyrexian Construct artifact creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. This one might be fine. We could play it. It might be okay. We need to definitely check what we've got, though. Prideful Parent. Some lands and tokens. We might have kind of run up through all the gas in the box. Like, we did kind of open, like, 5 mythics or something ridiculous. Fourhorn Raider. Gutless Plunderer. Giant Growth. Erudite Wizard. Dazzling Angel, Sower of Chaos, Wary Thespian, Ravenous Amulet, this is a new one, 2 generic mana for an artifact, 1 in tap, sacrifice a creature, draw a card, and put a soul counter on this artifact, activate only as a sorcery. 4 and tap sacrifices artifact. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of soul counters on this artifact. It's good. Again, I don't think we have an Aristocrats deck that works super well. Another Valmore. Blanchwood Armor is 2 and a green for an enchantment aura. Gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. Not bad. Revenge of the Rats. 2 black, create a tapped 1/1 black rat creature token for each creature card in your graveyard, and it flashes back for the same cost. Speaking of Slagstorm, 1 red deals 3 damage to each creature, deals 3 damage each, or it either deals 3 damage to each creature or deals 3 damage to each player. Burn might be able to play this, actually, because, like, if you are dealing with a creature-heavy deck that is out racing you as you're trying to... Nah. It's that... If that card sees play, it sees play in, like, a red control-y deck that needs a red board wipe. But I don't think that's going to be a thing for a while. Opening up the pack. Goblin Surprise and Stab. Gnarlid Colony. Bleeding Distraction. Healer's Hulk. Aegis Turtle. Withdrawal Katana. Wildwood Scourge. Fabloom Trick. Hello, Vibrant Toucan. Howdy. Meteor Golem. Infernal Vessel. Abyssal Harvester. 1 black for a 3/2 Demon Warlock. Have I pulled Doubling Season? No, I haven't. I didn't get to Doubling Seasons. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types, then exile other nightmare tokens you control. Foil Cathar Commando, a mountain, and some tokens. We did open... we've got 3 packs left. I'll show you what we opened once we get there. And hey, maybe by the time I open these other packs, I will have opened a Doubling Season. Burglar Rat, Apothecary Stomper, Big Fin Rouncer, Fleeting Flight, Firebrand Archer, Goldvein Pick, Soul Shackled Zombie, Savannah Lions. Wardens of the Cycle is interesting. 1 black, green for a 3/4 Elf Warlock. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you choose 1. You either gain 2 life, or you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's good. Self-Reflection, 4 blue. For a sorcery, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and it flashbacks for 3 and a blue. Makes copies. Another Alinda, Saint of Dusk. We don't really need to say... Yo! Sire of 7 Deaths. 7 mana, 7/7 Eldrazi with First Strike, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Lifelink, and Ward pay 7 life. Big boy. And here's the thing. We have a card from Assassin's Creed called Bleeding Effect, which gives all of your creatures every effect if the creature's in the graveyard. So I'm just saying... Ooh, and we got a foil Refute. Very pretty. Alright, we got another Sure Strike. We got a Fake Your Own Death. Bite Down. Refute. Move. Cackling Cyclops. Prideful Parent. Spitfire Lagak. Thinkskin Veil. Arcane Epiphany. Angel of Finality. Another Painful Quandary. We really didn't need that one. A foil Aegis Turtle this time. A Dismal Backwater. Alright, we got Crypt Feaster, Llanowar Elves, Uncharted Voyage, Banishing Light, Axguard Cavalry, Treetop Snare Spinner, Penguin Siphoner. Felling Blow is a new one. 2 green for a sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. You are not welcome in Skemfar. Bonk. Midnight Snack is also a new one. 2 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, create a food token. 2 and a black, sacrifice this enchantment. Target opponent loses X life, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Ooh. Swiftfoot Boots! We got a Swiftfoot Boots! Let's go! Let's go! 2 mana for an artifact equipment. has hexproof and haste, equips for 1. Again, if you're not aware of why I'm excited about this specifically, for the next couple months, I am playing with these cards in what's known as like my Progmander decks, where I have opened a box of every set that's come out this year, and I only build commander decks from those cards that I open from those boxes. Therefore, I can only play stuff like this that I opened up in this pack. So, you know, sick. Because I think the only other place to get this would have been the Fallout Collector's Boosters, which I don't think I got any. Very solid. Affectionate Indrik. We've got all the new cards at the end here. 5 and a green for a 4/4. When it enters, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. I think this was in Ravnica Remastered, though. Our last rare is a Curator of Destinies, 4 blue for a 5/5 Sphinx. This spell can't be countered. Flying whenever it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. An opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Our foil is a Dreadwing Scavenger, 1 black for a 2/2 Nightmare Bird. With flying, whenever it enters or attacks, you draw a card, then discard a card. Gets +1/+1 and has Death Touch as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Good limited card, but I'm not sure how strictly playable it is. But okay, we've got a lot to think about here, honestly. Let's see here. Let's look at our rares first, because obviously rares are the shiniest stuff that we want to take a look at. Actually, before I keep on going here, so let me move over here, because this is where the video is ending for some people. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, you should just be seeing the box opening that I just did here. Thank you so much for watching, and keep in mind that I will be I'll be posting something else to explain more about what I'm doing here, and have that little surprise that you should be looking out for. So just be sure to keep a lookout for that, and until next time, au revoir!